Hey, what's up guys? Memo here from CNS Drywall. Today's video we're going to be doing a full in-depth review on the Mirka Leros. We put it through its paces for about 3 months now, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion, the pros and cons, and whether or not it's worth it to invest in your company to get it. So here we go. So yep, right off the bat, the price for this one was about 1,200 bucks at Sherwin-Williams, which is a little bit higher than all the previous sanders that I've purchased. So a little backstory to give you some detail. I've owned the Potter Cable and DeWalt HEPA-Vac combo. That was the first sander that I bought in the market. I've tried the Flex Giraffe, the Festool, Planix, and the Easy Sand. And I've sampled the Makita cordless. By far, out of all those that I've named that I've personally tried, this one stands out to me as the most user-friendly, meaning it's the lightest, the construction is heavy duty, you touch it and it just feels solid. It's still, I mean, if you're going to compare it to a regular sample, it is fairly heavy if you haven't used any type of electric sander, but it is far lighter than all the other ones. What makes it stand apart from the pack is this right here. So the head rotates 180 degrees. So this benefits you especially when you're sanding overhead, and you'll see in the videos that I attach the link in the videos. We've used this a bunch of times, so you can look at the videos if you want to see it in action, but it makes it sanding like this so easy. So the highest that I've sanded with this Mirka is about 15 feet rake ceiling. All you got to do is get this extension pole. I bought the extension pole combo. It goes right into the bottom, screws in, and it makes sanding a breeze. So I really enjoy it. It's super user friendly, but that's not to say it doesn't have its drawbacks. So as far as the cons go, it's a bit more temperamental than all the other ones. So what I mean is, for example, we did a house where there was no power. We're running everything off a generator. I have a small 4500 generator that I thought was going to be sufficient, but it completely underpowered the Mirka. So what was occurring was it wasn't turning on all the way, and you could only go at 3 bars. If you get closer, the Mirka, there's a little dots here. This is the power. On the generator, it would only let me go up to 3 before shutting itself off. By temperamental, I mean it's a double-edged sword really, because what it does is the onboard computer or sensors or whatever it does have prevents it from overheating, so it'll shut itself off or lower the power, which is good if you're talking about extending the life of your investment. But it's kind of irritating on site where perfect conditions are rare. So it's a little bit of a drawback in that sense. But once you get used to it and you plan ahead, especially with the jobs that don't have power, you're golden, because we were able to bring a bigger generator and run the HEPA-Vac and the Mirka off of it, no problem. Another thing that occurs too is if you're sanding a lot. So I get a lot of questions asking if it's good for popcorn removal. I haven't used it yet, but I wouldn't recommend it, just based off of the assumption that it will overheat more since there's so much getting sucked in. But for me, I don't know if it's because of Hawaii's climate or what, but if I'm sanding in a enclosed area that's masked off, getting ready for texture, it will let me sand for about an hour before I need to lower the power. It automatically, it starts to overheat or whatever, and I need to dial it back a little. That's not to say that it won't sand fast. Even at 3 speeds, you're still golden, you're still good. But that's just something to expect, since there's a lot more going on in this machine than the previous ones. I guess, you know, like I said, a double-edged sword, pro and con. As far as suction goes, perfect. Dust is, you know, almost non-existent on the job site now, thankfully, because of the HEPA-Vac in this. I personally did not buy the combo. I have a DeWalt HEPA that I've had since day one with the Potter cable. If you're planning on just buying the bare tool, you need to kind of scavenge around as far as adapters go. Mirka has some stuff out there, but it's pretty much up to you to kind of hunt it down and look at it. I'm gonna add a link to the description of a fellow tradesman, Bob, in Canada, that set up his rig with a aftermarket vacuum hose attachment and all that, which is pretty good. So I'll showcase that too. But a lot of other questions that I get is as far as the finish goes, if it leaves half moons or circles. This one, because it spins and vibrates at the same time, the head. So what this one does, different than the Festool. The Festool just spins. This spins and vibrates at the same time. So it allows you to have way more control with your finish. We've used it to do level 4, level 5 texture, and it's worked perfectly. The only thing you do have to watch out for, since it spins and oscillates, when you do put it on the surface, it needs to enter flat. If you put it sideways, it will gouge the walls or whatever your finished surface is. But yeah, overall I'm impressed. I would recommend it, but like I said, there are some things good and bad. Another bad thing that occurs is static. At least for me, I've talked to other tradesmen that own the tool. They don't really experience any of it. For me, up until this last job, I would get shocked every 15-20 minutes. A pretty big zap of static buildup. I don't know if that's the vac, the hose, or what. I reached out to Mirka. They said maybe a sleeve would help. So I'm gonna try that out and see how that goes. But one of the things that occurred this last job is there was some funky stuff going on with the pad, but I'll show you what I'm talking about in the videos. But anyways, I hope you liked it. We'll see what he's doing. Yeah, so my 5-year-old decided to run outside and start yelling. But yeah, so in a nutshell, I 100% still recommend it, but be aware that there are going to be some small type of learning curve, and on top of that, there are going to be some issues that arise. But overall, comparing it to all the other sanders on the market that I've used, this is by far the most comfortable one to sand with, and it just leaves a beautiful finish. It is a bigger investment than the other ones, but I mean, after 2 months of heavy use, the worst thing that has happened is the video that you're about to see, which isn't really the machine itself, but the pad saver. You'll understand once you see it, but I'd recommend it. I'm gonna reach out to Mirka, try to see what the heck is occurring as far as the static shock and what happened in the video you're about to see. But anyways, hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. If you have any other questions, hit me up on the comments and I'll try to get them. Aloha. Hey, what's up guys? So we're here using the Mirka, the sand. Today, I'm not getting shocked, but it's been a little frustrating. Up until now, this thing has been golden. A little bit of static shock here and there, doesn't matter. Doesn't really bother me, but today's been kind of irritating. Let me show you what's happening. So, this paper right here, you can see it's still, I mean, it's been used, but it should be solid. Previously, one of these would last a whole entire house. So I was super impressed by the Abernet because it's super rugged. You can go right over the details, no problem. But look what's happening right now. I'm about to turn it on. I'm in speed number 3. Half the suction of the vac. Here we go. so it didn't do it on this wall, thankfully, but on this wall it did it about 3 times. What's happening is an edge gets caught and it just wraps it up like that, the whole thing comes flying off. So this is directly to the head. There's no pad. Because for whatever reason, this pad right here, you can see we've been using it for about 2 months now. It's not super beat up. It's still grabbing the brand new paper good. But for some reason, the fuzzy side does not stick at all to the Mirka. There's no, the Velcro is still good. This fuzzy is still good, but it's not accepting it anymore at all. So if I were to try to sand with this on, well, let me turn it on. It falls right off. So, what I'm assuming is this pad is the buffer, so it's called the head saver, and it helps grip the paper really good to prevent it from rolling up how I showed you. But normally I would go through one of these per house. I've gone through 6 of these today because they just roll up and it just, the fuzz wears out and it's ridiculous because these run me about $4. So 1 per house is perfect, but if I'm using 6 of them and I have to keep stopping to change it, it's super irritating. So I don't know what the cause is for it not to have any type of, and I even tried washing it. So I washed it, I dried it, and then I blew it. I even clean this off, but there's no type of adhesion. One of those brand new 2 months ago, it sounded like this, but now it just, so I don't know what the heck caused that, but if you're trying to sand this direct to this, the sandpaper lasts a lot less longer and it tends to roll up on you right away. So just thought I should share that. Okay guys.